All right, namaste, folks. Welcome to the next episode in the video podcast edition of CDBot. I'm your host Pawan, and we have our co-host Harpreet Kaur. And today we are going to talk about a very sensitive topic, which is the intention to talk about it is actually to break the taboo that is there in the society at large. And that topic is sex education in India and in general, in a general perspective. To talk about it, we have with us Pallavi from Mauritius, and the whole point is, as I said earlier, to break not only judge the taboo but also give it a fresh perspective from youth. What is the youth thinking about a topic which is brushed under the carpet often in India and elsewhere? So, Pallavi, you can give in your opening remarks about it, and then we can proceed.
Thank you, Pavan. So, myself, Pallavi from Mauritius. I'm studying my undergraduate at the Osman University, Hyderabad. So, at first, I was hesitant for this topic because it's a very sensitive one. But I chose it because it's one of the most controversial issues happening in the world today. Because I personally believe that it's better for teenagers to get a proper guidance, proper information from the right sources because they're sometimes misguided. And being from Mauritius, I live in two different societies. But still, I find that in both countries, both societies, the issue is common. So we have to talk about it to find solution, to find a new perspective in order to make the society better. Because we tend to name the society as an abusive one today because rape, sexual harassment, homosexuality are those new mantras happening today. So that's why I chose this book.
Welcome, Pallavi. Thank you so much for giving such a wonderful opening remark. Before we begin with our topic and we propose some solutions as to what youth should be doing or what is the fresh perspective, I want to know from you what's your view about sex education, because there is a general perception, but there is another perception that should be there, but unfortunately it's not there. So what is the difference between two perceptions, and what according to you is sex education? Is it actually that big a topic as big it is made?
So to be honest, the general perception, like today, we are all ignorant about it. If we'll tell an elder person about sex education, they will be, what are you talking about? Like they'll be ignorant. While youngsters, they are keen to know about it. It is their right to know about it. And we also have the fear of criticism today, that what will people say if something bad happened to us? If we are being a victim or if you're doing something wrong, what will people say? This is that thing keep on going on from generation to generation. But this flow should be broken. Like we should break the chain to avoid people to keep those like it's how do I say? It's mental harassment for some people if they're victim of like rape, sexual harassment, and all. For instance, recently I've been walking on the road. There was I witnessed something. There was a girl walking on the opposite side of the road, and it was around 7 o'clock in the evening. It was not late, and there were so many people walking on the road at that time. And at the same time, there was a man in the corner. He started masturbating, looking at that girl. And that girl was decent at that time. She was not even wearing short dresses and all. She was covering her face. Only her eyes were open. But that time, nobody dared to like go and tell that man this is wrong. You shouldn't do that. So even that girl, even me personally, I didn't voice out to say that this is wrong because we fear the society. So I think that general perception should change. We youngsters should make the effort.
This is really bad to listen. Honestly, Pallavi, there are two different things that I can make out from the answer that you gave. One is that girls walking on road uh, witness all of this, and sometimes they're not even aware that someone is doing that with them. And it is all happening in the mind of the person who's doing this. To be honest, I think media has a big role here, because in a movie, if a girl is walking on the road and a boy is following her, whistling around and trying to tease her, and the girl looks cool in the song, but unfortunately, the girls are not really cool in real life. If a girl is walking on the road and if a guy is trying to tease her, It's not cool. Please understand that. In a song, in a movie, it might look cool, but it's the reality is that we really feel bad. And the second thing is that the mindset of people are really questionable over here. I mean, we usually relate sexual education with our values being breached. I feel that is one of the most common perceptions in our country, and I think elsewhere also. We usually connect values with sexual education. That no, we can't talk about it because it is against our values. But I don't know which religion or which value system ever said that you should not understand your own body properly. You should not know when someone is trying to do something wrong with you. It's wrong or right is something which is a differentiation which you'll know only if you know what is right and what is wrong. How to decide if someone is touching you in an uncomfortable manner. How will you decide that that touch is right or wrong? That happens when you teach your kids that this touch is right and this touch is wrong. And I feel if we are constantly connecting our values with sex education, we should think about what are we watching in the theaters and what are we watching on television shows. Is that really what our values are? It's not, right? So we can't be hypocritic this way. Well, to understand this more, I would like to know from Pawan now what's his view, and then we can proceed with what's the role of media and other platforms in spreading awareness about sex education.
All right, well, Lakrit, I think Pallavi for us has given us a very good start to talk about what the whole thing is, and my addition would be only this. First of all, if you understand sex education as it is, it's nothing about telling youngsters about their own bodies and telling them how reproduction happens, and it's essentially a life process. I mean, and it should be taught in that manner rather than putting it under the carpet and saying that, this is a male's body and this is a female's body and this is how it looks like. I mean, we have to change the narrative as to how we have to perceive it also. So we can perceive it in various ways. So, and we have a taboo in the sense in classrooms, and when students are reaching the puberty. So it starts on 12 or 13, the age of 12 or 13. At that time, what happens is people are, teachers are not very confident about teaching that, or they are very, silent about it. They will not give you a proper understanding about it. So what the natural cause is that consequence is that students will resort to, watching maybe understanding it through porn websites or, pornography in this general sense, and or, it can be even a lot of other content which is, very disturbing in the general sense to watch. And this also proceeds at a society level where a correlation is usually drawn between, if rapes are occurring. So if you take a number of rapes and the impact of porn, so people try to correlate it that way. But it's not just that factor that can, be a influencing variable in causing rapes. It can be various other factors. So in this regard, what I'd like to add further is that you have to change the very perception that sex education is going to be a problem. Teaching people about sex education is actually going to be helpful and make them understand the whole thing in a better way than it's actually made out to be. So I think that's my whole idea.
Right. Absolutely. Well, talking about this, Pallavi also gave a very clear description of the situation to us, and she said that the girl was completely covered. Even then, she was watched in a wrong manner. She was a victim of harassment, right? So whenever we talk about such issues, people usually say that the dressing sense of girls usually forces men to do all of this, and it's this dressing sense of girls that is making them the victim of rapes. I think yes, to be honest, dressing sense matters, but not that much. You cannot simply come on and blame someone's dirty mentality to a girl's dressing sense. That girl was completely covered. Then what made that man do such a disgusting act, that too in public? So this is something we need to understand, that it's not always the girls who have to be blamed. There are several other reasons which have to be understood. And one of the biggest problem is the lack of relevant sources. On this, I would like to know, Pallavi, what's your view about this?
For me, I think it's an individual approach at first hand. Like it should be from the individual himself. For example, in like 5 to 10 years, we will be future parents. Okay, so being a future mother or being a future father, we should know how to approach our kids, how to explain our kids how sex education is. It's not about only having sex about our body. It's about respecting others as well. For example, I should know how to tell my son or my daughter that, Beta, this is your private part. You should not allow anyone to touch it. Or no touch for someone else. At the same time, the boy and the girl should be explained equally. Not only girls, not only to boys, because boys also are victims of sexual harassment sometimes.
Right. Right.
And I feel that education starts at home. So it is the family, it is the parents or siblings who have to together sit and talk about it. Like if there was a movie recently, Sex Guilty. I watched it recently. There was a girl. She was around 13 years old, and she was raped. And then one of her teachers told her to remain silent. Varna hangama ho jayega. Why hangama? Why she shouldn't voice out? Because she didn't have anyone to talk about it. She remained silent, and that thing kept on mentally trouble her since ages. So, and when things like that happen, we can see like children are guided in a wrong way. They tend to commit suicide in some time. They tend to take the wrong path, even drugs. So,
Right.
like me, there are so many youngsters who want to change the society. We make the society. So whatever we learn, whatever we'll teach our children will keep on going on. Like how our parents learn, they taught us. So whatever we are learning, whatever we should learn more, will be going to our children. So that's it's an individual approach that we need to do.
I'd just like to add one point to what Pallavi just said. The whole thing is, if sex education is something that, you know, culturally a problem, I don't think, I think I disagree I'll disagree if somebody says that culture is something that comes into sex education and, you know, those who want to learn about it. On the contrary, a lot of our emphasis is all about, culture is actually Indian culture in general, in the wider sense, actually tells you to understand the whole thing in a very different manner. And therefore, if somebody tries to draw correlation that speaking about sex education is violating culture, I think they're absolutely wrong. We have to drive home this point first. And from there, we can now proceed to what exactly the influence of the media is. Because media, in terms of, if we look at media, how do we wonder? So there will be a film series or whatever, film portrayal of such, incidents, and then you have pornography, a lot of these. So I think now we have to talk more on what kind of role can the media in general play. I think, Lovepreet, you have any points about it?
Yeah. Just to give an opening to this, I would like to say that Pavan had made a very nice point over here that we cannot blame our culture for it. Though I do agree with the fact that things are not going to change in just a click. I'm saying and people would change. No, these things have been coming from like ages with us, and our parents' psychology has been shaped by their parents and then again their parents. It's a very deep rooted concern, and it cannot just go by me saying that it should not be there, right? But I would say we need more responsible sources, because as a kid, when I was a kid, when I got my first period, I was not aware of it, to be honest. And anyone like me who would you just get that feel for one time, or something would happen to that kid for the first time, there's an urge in that kid to understand the process. And in that case, if your parents can't tell you, okay, if teachers can't teach you together, they have to separate the class to explain natural phenomena as natural as giving birth to a new life, then I think that's also okay. Even then, I think there is a strong need that there should be doctors or psychologists or specialists in this field, a virtual committee and a physical committee, who can make these things clear to children depending on their age in a very subtle manner. The point that media platforms and several other sources that we see on Google, when you type something on Google, you get a lot of links. You can open any one of them. But the fact that these links do not portray the reality the way it should be, and the way how beautiful it actually is the matter of concern. And that's what, children's psychology is very sensitive. kids can actually get affected by anything that's not understandable for them. I'm 21 years old, and if I watch something like that, I know that my brain is going to spin like anything. Think about a 13-year-old kid. He's not even aware about himself at that point of time. If you show him something as destructive and as disturbing as a porn, the kid can have this natural, beautiful process forever in his life. And that's true. So I think we need more, like associated and more holistic sort of organic sort of a guidance in this thing. It can be either in the form of a virtual platform, or it can be in schools where doctors, psychologists, and teachers sit together to frame a proper framework for educating children regarding sex education. I recently read somewhere sex education is not only about teaching what is your physical body responsible for. It's also when a child in puberty gets that excitement, infatuation, excitement to do something wrong, how to control those emotions. Teaching that is also very important, right? Educating children about their body is important, but at the same time, how to control their overwhelming emotions at a particular point of time is also important. Recently on Instagram, I saw a video where a reporter asks a man, when you see a girl walking by you wearing short clothes, does something happen to you? And the man replies, yes, I feel like doing something with her. What will you do? I mean, a 25, 30 years old man does not need sex education. Sorry, that man needs to work on his mentality, one. And two, we need to find out some ways and make people aware of this sudden emotion that they feel, how to control it. You just cannot throw it out everywhere. That's wrong. And that's why rapes are happening, isn't it? We are not able to control our overflowing emotions. And that, again, is a very important point. Well, this was my view about it. And of course, media has a big role to play, because I think theater, movies, serials, ad shows, or whatever we watch, web series on Netflix, on YouTube, on Amazon Prime, all of these are very responsible to shape our psychology over here. We start perceiving girls as something we can tease on roads because that's shown in one of the songs in the movie. So it's cool, that girl was laughing, probably the girl which I'm teasing will also laugh. That's the kind of psychology we develop. So of course, media has a big role to responsibly talk about this topic, or else don't talk about it at all, please. But don't create a chaos. Please don't create a chaos. Pallavi, your view.
Yeah, like you said, that media has a very big role. So today, internet is available for everyone. Like, we can't deny that no one has the access to internet. But I feel that children are misguided to it. They don't know which site they will use, which site is not good for them, according to their age. And at school, I feel like they should add it as a subject in their curriculum. Like, for example, when I was in my second year for degree, we had ethics and values. Along with that, why do we have sex education? Like, we don't need to write exams for it, but at least those children will know what is happening in their environment, what is happening to their body. Because in my class, I'm 22. In my class, there are girls around 20 to 21, 22. Sometimes they don't know what is happening to their body. They just know that they will get married after the degree. Married after the degree to do what? To just sit at home and look after babies. They don't know what kind of values they should implement to their child, or how to guide the children. How, I mean, like, sex education should be a subject implemented at school at various levels. And when we are teaching those children, we should know at which age to teach what. Like, teaching a 70-year-old girl or boy, and teaching an 8-year-old kid will not be the same. So the at 8, 7, 7, 8, 9, that children is having change in their body. While at 17-year-old, that change already happened. So children will have to know what is coming next, what is expected from them in the society. So that's
See, I just like to add into this thing. So I have come across a report in the media. Okay, so it's published in the Curious. It's a online portal. It's very popular with policies and all this. So that has made a point that with regard to this problem, so in sex education in particular, almost a decade ago, the government of India, in collaboration with NCRT and a few other bodies, actually announced the launch of something called Adolescent Education Program in schools. And the
Yeah.
problem was the response is, very, I mean, let's say the response has been very unpleasant because almost 13 states, as I read it, 13 states called for a ban on it, saying that it is against the culture. This is the exact point where I think we have to, say that this is actually very, very. It's a very puerile argument. You can't use that as an argument to say you don't want to teach them. And in fact,
Right.
if I may just add one bit, I think when it comes to all this, as she said about putting it in the curriculum and then educating about it, you added the point that you have to have professionals, so like doctors and doctors and professionals to
Hmm.
talk about it. See, we have to talk about it at a very low level. So if you can organize something like a seminar, or it's not a seminar, it's a very technical word. So if you can have a discussion in classroom that say that whenever the biology classes are starting, so you can start at that point. So you can just give them an introduction of what the whole thing is and all that. My main problem comes when people are very, even at the student level, they are not very, when they are influenced by popular culture, say movies and all this, which portray all these to be, very a fashionable thing. Let's say, let's admit it, because a lot of movies are now series also, web series are talking about it in
Hmm.
a, all this in a very negative. It's a very becoming a fashion statement to these girls, or say that there's something called a machismo and all that. So it's a very unfortunate situation. Actually, what can be done at a school level also is, in my opinion, is from my personal experience, is that you can just you can in your general discussions in school classroom, you have a general
Hmm.
knowledge class and all this usually in a lot of schools. So in that, I think we have to give a session or two, or at least 3 4 days. Research, you can talk about this,
Yeah.
ask people to understand, understand the other gender and the right thoughts and importance of consent, and all these are there. So I think we have to start young. Otherwise, there's no point in talking about it when when you see a case where somebody is older and he has committed some crime against women, or all this. There's no point. We have to
Right.
start
Right.
young. That's my submission.
Adding to what Pallavi and Pavan said, there's one more thing I would like to propose. So, one thing is that we are unfortunately stuck between adopting modernization as per our convenience and still sticking to our roots. So, if you think that wearing modern clothes makes you modern, sorry, no, it does not. And if you want to live like people live in the UK, then you probably have to work on this, because after 18 years old, a kid is no more your kid. He's an individual to do whatever he wants to do. He might have his own choices on whatever he's doing. But no, we are the parents who would like to, probably dictate on our kids even when my kids have their own kids. Then you cannot expect modernization to come just by clothes. One thing. The second thing is, I really feel that if you stop kids from, going on Google and searching for something, the kid will be, more excited to do that. The fact that when you stop someone from doing something, especially with kids, they are always more curious to know what it is about. Why not tell them in a very natural way that this is how life comes on planet, this is how you were born, this is how people are born, this is such a beautiful concept. Why to stop them? We don't have to stop them. If at the right point of time, if I was told what is the period, what is the cause of it, what is the use of it, what as a girl is your responsibility after that, I might not have to Google it back then. One. And the second thing, if only our parents or our teachers, and if not them, again I'm stressing and focusing on the fact that if our parents cannot do it, maybe professional help can be given on virtual platforms as and on physical platforms. If only they taught us that these things are really simple and beautiful and a part of our life, not a big deal, maybe most of us would not be forced to search on Google what these meant. And again, we would not have been directed to sources that apparently we are calling irrelevant sources now, right? Because they are not entertainment giving sources, and that entertainment is not needed for you if you are a kid in between the age of 8 years to maybe 28 years also. You don't need it, sorry. So if you what you need is a better understanding of concepts. Well, I think we have talked a lot about what's the general perception, what's happening, the role of parents, teachers, media persons. And to be honest, we cannot blame government over here. Pavan made a very nice point that, of course, there was something launched. But again, what stopped was not the political parties, but what stopped was the mentality of the political parties, which is again deep rooted, and we just cannot take it out with a click. What we can do is we as youth can take up this responsibility to make sure that for our upcoming generations and for our siblings maybe we can be better guiders. They would not have to refer to any websites to get the guidance, to get the right kind of guidance. Again, this comes into play. Government cannot make a policy for our mentality. And talking about sex education, we want to include it to our curriculum. But what about a 50 years old man who's raping his own daughter? What kind of a curriculum does he need? Unfortunately, he needs people should, his mother, his siblings, or the environment around him, the society around him should have worked on his mentality from the last 50 years. Then this would not have happened. Or maybe he could have been he would be knowing how to control this sudden rush of emotions in him. Then maybe he would not have done that crime, right? So everything boils down to mentality and doing right thing at the right time. If you lose the right time, then you might lose your child's character and someone else's life as well. To end this, I think I would like to know from both of you what solutions are there, or what we as youth can do to maybe help children with this issue, and what we can do to become more responsible parents and teachers.
Pallavi can go.
Pallavi, you can go.
Okay, so as I said before, it's from an individual approach. So if it's taught by me, I can tell my friend or roommate or anyone that this is what is going on in the society is wrong. Everyone wants to change, but no one makes the effort to change it. Like we see on Instagram, another day another victim. Recently there was a case in Hyderabad, Priyanka Reddy. So everyone was shocked about it. Being a doctor, she had to go through so much pain and all, but still we didn't make any effort about it. It was in news, it was everywhere, but we personally, we didn't go and talk to kids like, see, this is what is happening is wrong. We should do it in this way. We should not do it in this way and all. There is recently my friend told me she was sitting on her terrace, and it was during summer, okay, and she and her friend, they were wearing shorts. They were decent, but they were wearing shorts. At the same time, their neighbor son was walking on the corridor, and that son mother told the girls that don't sit outside like that, because my son is going around here, he might see you, and that's not good to see you like that. But at that moment, that mother should have told the child that even if the girl is wearing the short, it's not a problem. You should change your mentality. You should not download girls even if they're wearing a short, okay? And even though they're talking about clothes, what about a 3-year-old kid or 3-month old kid who are being raped? They don't know anything about it. They don't even know what is puberty. They don't even know what is happening to their private parts. So at that time, the solution came from individuals. I put my emphasis on the individual approach only. That we have to make the change. Like there was a famous quote from Mahatma Gandhi: "Be the change you wish to see in the world." So this is what I want to say.
Of course, and I think specifically talking about sex education, we need better mediums of introducing this topic to our kids. And for those who are elder, those are no more kids. I can only say, please, please try to
Yeah,
understand that this is not a joke.
yeah.
Someone's life is not a
So
joke.
at the end of the day, I think the whole thing comes up. But the only solution, in my opinion, is all about character building. If you have the right character, definitely you'll not be you'll understand it in the right way, and then you'll try to approach it the whole issue in the right way, whatever right
Right.
is according to a person. So the whole thing is we have to
Absolutely.
start at the character building, and then naturally a person will understand it so in a positive way, and therefore at school level, and I think we have I think we have discussed the whole thing in a very concrete way there, and I think there should be a a certain set of censoring, censoring is already done in a lot of medium, so the be it cinema or anything. So the,
Mhm.
at the end of the day,
Yes,
I
yes,
think what one should do is it's all about self. It's a person's mindset or mentality that
exactly.
influences his outlook. So I think we have to start even with the character, and this has to be done in a very,
Right.
everybody will be at every stage of life. It is the people are responsible for family and the schools, colleges, and that way the professional life and the media and all this. So I think this is the way we have to go up, in my opinion. I think, and
Adding to Pavan's censorship point, just a second, Pavan. Adding to his point that things should be censored, they are censored, But what can stop you from probably using UC browser or VPN? Well, we've talked a lot about sex education and how the crime rates in India are, or not just in India, but in so many parts of the world, the situation is bad. But let me make a very positive remark over here. Well, while we are discussing about people who brutally harass the other person's respect, the other person's privacy, there are also so many people who are really kind and nice on this planet. To share a personal experience, I still remember when we were young, I think in class 8 or 9, one of our friends in my class, a female, got her first period in the class. And because the boys around her did not know what it was, there were certainly two of her friends uh, who understood what menstruation is and how it feels like, and they helped her out in that situation by providing her their cardigans to wrap around her waist so that she could cover the stain. They did not make fun of her stain, they protected her. They understood. And I feel I also have such a friend circle. If I am going through a bad phase, a rough phase in my life, in a month, they'll probably cheer me up. They'll be really positive towards me. They'll understand how a woman feels when she's undergoing that much of pain. And I think there are people like these who exist. There are boys who understand these things and they respect women. Not just this, there are also girls who respect male a lot. There are unsaid stories when we are growing up for males. But to understand each other and to develop that sort of a mutual respect is really, really important. Not just this, there are also men who fight for women who undergo rape. There are people who speak for women. There are people who protect women from these things, in the society. There are so many instances where people have fought for eve teasing against girls. We also cannot ignore that. So there are noble hearts, and we all just need to control and educate our children and just bring together all these people. No one is an evil. The things that turn them into evils is something which we have to work on the root cause, and just make all of us in a way that we are mutually respectful towards each other. Pallavi, would you like to add an ending remark to it?
Yeah, as you said right. As there are so many bad things happening in the society today, there are also nice people around us. Like there are gentlemen, as you said. There are people who respect each other, but we shouldn't forget that those who is losing that good path should have a grip on them. We should know how to uh, take them in the good way, and we should be the one who is changing the mentality. It should start with us. It is,
Right,
let us be the one who start with a good education at home, be it with
right.
our children or be it at work as well or at school. And as a youth like me, I would like to say that if there is anything you see wrong happening in the society, feel free to voice out. Even if not me, not to your parents, not to your siblings, you find someone you're comfortable with, you can talk about it. Don't feel shy about it, because if you do it now, it will keep on repeating.
Exactly. That's how it works, because everyone knows everything, just like you said. To make a complete circle and to end where you started, internet provides everyone the knowledge that they need. We cannot say that it's always good knowledge though, but yes, we all have resources. Anyone can Google anything. If we are thinking that our fellow humans do not know what natural phenomena are, they do know that. It's just that we need to be more open with these things, to not tempt them to get into it in the wrong way, but to keep it so open and still so respectful that the society as a whole can be supportive of each other. Let's stop teasing each other. Let's stop irritating each other on these things and questioning each other's abilities. Because there's nothing that women cannot do, and there is nothing that men cannot do. So let's collaboratively work on making this society a better place. So I would like to request Pavan now to end this podcast. It was a wonderful discussion. Thanks for joining us, Pallavi. And I think we need more of these discussions by youth, so that we can probably break this taboo, and this taboo does not continue as a baggage with us in the future.
All right. First of all, Pallavi, thanks for joining us. It has been a very good interaction talking to you, knowing about your perspective. And I think we have certainly broken the taboo as our main intention was. And I think this discussion yours is one step in the right direction. So we have to break the taboo, understand that. And the second thing that I would like to leave you all with is that know your character, because your character shapes your thoughts, and it also shapes how you think, and the whole outlook is influenced not only by your character but then additionally by your thoughts. So you have to focus on the character in a big way. And this episode has been one big effort in that direction. So with that, I'd just like to say that to all boys out there, not all women can be good, some can be nasty too. And to all women, I think not all boys are nasty, some boys are really genuine. I think we have driven home this point in this episode. And thanks for joining us today. And we hope you understood the whole idea behind this episode, and please share it and break the taboo in your own way. And that's all I have to say. And thanks for joining us once again. See you in the next episode. This is your host,
Also, Pavan,
signing off. Oh, so lovely.
this is a
Dhawan Das,
beautiful.
he has something to add.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And you said something really wonderful. I got a scientific term for it. You know what? It's a chain reaction. It started with Pallavi. Both of us are now more aware, and probably we can be better guides to our siblings and to our kids. We are passing on this message to you. Please carry on this chain reaction. Keep changing. Even if two of you, three of you, four of you are able to make a good mental picture of this situation, this topic, and become more sensitive towards this issue, and rather than making it a taboo, make it a routine of yourself, make it a character to yourself, put these values inside of you. I think our effort to talk about it openly on a platform like YouTube will be successful. You know what? It will be really successful. So let's make it, let's continue this chain reaction. It should not stop here. And we just want you to imbibe these values into yourself. Yes, Pawan, you can end now. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, so guys, don't forget to not only like our channel but also share the episode, subscribe to our channel also, and spread the word around. You are the change maker, so we need change not just on YouTube videos but at the ground. Thanks for joining us.